Have faith. Let it begin. Hello everyone, this is Angel, and welcome to another edition of Have Faith, Let It Begin. And I want to thank you, especially to joining us on this platform. Thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. Thank you for being a part of our Have Faith family. So let's begin. Let's say thank you to our show's introduction song by GABBIE Santana, who has written, performed, and produced it by herself. At 14 years of age, she is amazing. Go visit her YouTube channel. Let's make her a star that we already know she is. At GABBIE Santana, that's her YouTube channel. And don't forget to check out the description on this page showing you how you can get a hold of us for any topics, any questions or comments. And please follow us as a subscriber on our iTunes page, or Spreaker, or all the other platforms available as iHeartRadio, podcast player, etc. And that's our show and how we're going to just continue to build an audience and get us and our message across each and every day. Ladies and gentlemen, I came across the topic in my mind, and I've been wanting to do it, and so I'm just going to dive right into it. You already saw the title, so you know what it's about. Relationships. Man, has the relationship, we'll call it the industry, or most people would call it the playing field, or wow, that is crazy. I think as you get older, it just gets harder. I think as you get older, you just can't figure out really where to start. You don't want to start over. You don't want to have to take the time to figure out if there's going to be any red flags that pop up later. You kind of just want to have an interview. You want to have a resume. Here's the resume. Here's what it is. Okay, good. Check, check, check. Oh, red flag. You got to go. Relationships. Wow. Well, I think a lot of us can agree that most of us have at some point, have had bad relationships. This is going to be a two-part series. I want to start off with just the relationships, and then we'll lead on to bad relationships. Relationships are a great thing. It's a great thing to be a part of a relationship. It's a great thing to be a part of something that is inspiring, shocking, joyful, powerful, loving. And at times, relationships can be struggles, deception, betrayal, secretive, lack of communication, heartbreaking. So, how do we touch base on relationship? I believe, and again, I am not perfect because God knows I've gone through some major heartache, some major heartbreak, some betrayal, some disappointments, but I've always bounced back because, as we talk about on this show, you learn from your mistakes. I think when you look for a relationship, and again, this is my opinion, I still feel that the three most important things are what I've always heard in my 30 years of when I was searching, and that is trust, honesty, and love. I've added a fourth. I call them the 4 commandments of love. I think it's trust, honesty, love, and communication. When you're looking for someone to be a part of your life, you kind of gravitate to that person. Sometimes you're thrown into it. Sometimes it's a blind date. Sometimes you go to see somebody that you think you like, only to find out that it's somebody else in that room that you actually have an attraction to. Relationships a good founding relationship starts with, yes, a slight attraction, a curiosity, an ability to want to spend time with someone. In the beginning, it's always perfect. It always is cute. It's always something different. You know, the butterflies turn and you go on that first date, you don't know what to wear. I've heard stories of guys who have thrown up before they went on a date or had stomach aches. I know women who don't know what to wear, and sometimes it gets to the point where they just actually cancel because they just don't know what to wear. But I think the most important thing is the first 2 or 3 weeks. Now, for some people, they have these set of rules that they put in place. They put these rules that, well, once I meet this person, I gotta know right off the bat if they're gonna be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You know, okay, that's great, but you gotta be patient. A lot of people are nervous when they go on a date or two. A lot of people don't know how to be themselves. And in retrospect, you should always be yourself. But people get stage fright. People don't know how to act. Some people are not good at social skills, and they don't know how to interact with somebody. You got to be a little bit of patient. You got to be have a little bit of patience. I think in your first 2 or 3 encounters, you have to kind of watch how the person interacts with you, how they treat you in an environment of other people, where their eyes are at all times if they wander. You have to see how they interact with waiters or waitresses or servers or, you know, customer service representatives, depending on who you speak with. You got to know if they're attached to their phone. All eyes should be on each other during that time. All eyes should not derail. In addition to that, conversations are important. Now, when you meet somebody and you like them, you know, there may be times where you find things that you don't have too many things in common. It could be a lot of little things. It could be a lot of big things. It could be deal breakers. Some people seek other people that are religious or have a relationship with God. And if they don't, they feel it's a deal breaker. Others feel that if they don't like what they do, or vice versa, it's a deal breaker. Some of them will knock somebody out of contention because they love or dislike animals. And one of the people have an animal. I mean, there's a lot of factors that people put into place. You have to keep it basic. You have to make this simple, but not make this so difficult. Yes, I believe you should have a small type of attraction or a curiosity factor, because that's what leads you to giving your phone number, leads you to having conversations. I believe that when you're in those conversations, it should end like an episode, a good episode that leaves on a cliffhanger. I think that if you've had a good date and you can't wait to see what's next, that's a good start. And if it keeps going that way, you're probably off to a good start. There are times when we go on a date and it's just disastrous. The person is rude. The person hasn't combed their hair. Perhaps they have bad hygiene just to start. I'm not saying, well, he had a bad day, let's move on, or she had a bad day, let's move on, we'll do another. I'm just saying, be cautious. You know, be alert, attentive, but be alert. You know, have alert. Have the ability to know what is a red flag and what is not a red flag. Some people think that being late is a sign of disrespect. Again, some people are so nervous that they're rushing to get ready and they make mistakes. Cut some people some slack. After a couple dates, people think that, you know, if they don't respond back to a text message or return my call, it's a form of disrespect, and they cut them short real quick. Again, cut them a little slack. Bring in the reins a little bit. It's not all that difficult. Don't make it harder than it already is. Some people will get involved in a relationship goes on for about a month or two, and they immediately want them to meet their parents. And you're like, whoa, well, they've been together for 2 months and I'm not going to meet your parents already. Listen, they may be a very close-knit family. He may like you to the point where, or she may like you to the point where he or she feels they want their approval. I mean, yes, it's a little bit forward at times, but it's also a compliment if you think about it. It's not one to get all upset. If it doesn't work out, you're never going to see them anyway. So give the benefit of the doubt. I'm very old school tradition. I believe that if a man takes a woman out, he should pay. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of women out there that believe that, listen, I am more than able to pay. I don't want to be paid for. I could do it myself. Well, that's fine. Listen, again, this is the day and age that we live in. Work that out in conversation if it comes up. I believe if a person says, hey, I'd like to take you out to dinner, that's him saying or she saying, hey, I'm going to pay. Again, you can also make assumptions. I remember going out one time and I met a female and I took her out on a date, and I asked her if she felt comfortable with me paying for dinner or if she was willing to pay Dutch. She took that as a sign of weakness and never called me back. When in reality, I was just trying not to offend her, because in previous conversations, she had mentioned how she didn't like being paid for everything. So I listened to those conversations and applied them, and in reality, it backfired. So practice what you preach. It's important to remember all the things that you do in a relationship. And that's just a start. I want to kind of get us rolling this, and now that I'm, doing this, I think we're going to extend it to a 3-part series. So we're going to end it here with dating. I want you to think about that if you're in the process right now of dating. And we'll pick this up again on Friday as we continue on with looking for the right person, relationships part 2. I hope you have a good Thursday. And I hope that this leaves you on a cliffhanger, as most dates, first dates should. Have faith. Let it begin.